The song was just kind of like me trying to convince myself that we just don't need to go there. Like, we'll get coffee during the day. Like, we shouldn't do anything else. Like, we don't need to go to the park. We definitely should not go to a bar. We should not get dinner, nothing. And I just kind of didn't do any of that. So we went to a bar and then I went to their house. Hi, I'm Chappell Roan, and this is Making the Album with Pop Buzz.
Hi, Chappell. Welcome to Making the Album. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Really good. Very excited to talk about this project. So today we're celebrating your talented, brilliant, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. We've just made it Pop Buzz's 2023 Album of the Year. It's also had so much critical acclaim this year. How does that feel?
It's very affirming because, like, for years I was like, is this even good? You know what I mean? Like, you never really know if your art is good. Just kidding. Yeah, I did. I don't know why I said that. I just woke up. No, it's affirming because I was like, I was right.
Exactly.
Like, it's good. So yeah, I just basically retract that entire statement and I say, I knew it was good. So I'm surprised by, like, all of that, like, publications, like, being, like, loving it so much and, like, the critical acclaim. But I was like, the girls are gonna love this. Like, this is fun. It's, like, so, I don't know, it's such a world in itself, and I worked so hard on it, and if I didn't think it was good, I wouldn't have put it out, you know? So.
Exactly. Well, it is fun, and today we're going to be going fully into the album track by track. Are you ready to reveal all?
Yes.
Track 1, Femininomenon. I knew I was going to do this.
Exactly. This is why I almost called the album Femininomenon, but I didn't because of this reason.
Track 1, Femininomenon.
Yes.
This is how to start an album. Obviously, as we've just seen, it's a tongue twister. What does the term Femininomenon mean, and how does it relate to the song?
We made it. We just kind of obviously made the word up, but it was about, like, how it's a phenomenon if, like, sleeping with a man is, like, better than sleeping with a girl. Like, honestly, like, I don't, like, from my perspective at least, you know what I mean? So I was like, this is a phenomenon, but it's also feminine, and so we just kind of, like, mushed it together, and it's like 3 songs in one. It was pretty difficult to write and figure out, but I love it. And one review was like, if you can tolerate the first song, you can tolerate the whole album. And I think that's, like, really valid.
Well, for me, it properly sets the tone. Like, I knew as soon as the first track played, this was my shit. Like, so that was a good sign.
Thank you.
Now, there's the reference to Papa John's in the chorus. Have they reached out since you released the song?
No. No, well, because it's always like, I was like, we should not put Papa John's on. Like, that's, like, literally stupid. I'm going to get made fun of. And I do, but I don't care. But, like, it's just not that deep. It's about pizza. But every show, someone brings a Papa John's box. They're just, like, waving it around in the air. So...
Well, how do you feel about SponCon in general? Like, if you could do SponCon for any brand, what would it be?
I mean, I wear Skechers every single day, but I'm not. These are such a mess. I've bedazzled them and, like, fucked them up so much.
Cute.
But, oh my God. You know what? I sponsor myself every day and just wear my merch. So...
It's good you wear your merch, though. It means it's good.
I like my merch. I love it. It's so cute. And also, it's like, I didn't make it. My best friend made it. So I'm really just, like, sponsoring her. So, but as far as a brand, I think about that all the time. And I'd have, like, no idea who I would. Because I thrift everything and, like...
Maybe Vinted or eBay. I don't...
Oh, eBay! Yeah, let's say eBay.
Track 2, Red Wine Supernova. You've described this as a campy gay girl song. What's the secret to making an iconic gay girl anthem?
I don't know if I'm...
You are an expert in this. Don't sell yourself short.
I would say you just have to let go of what straight people are going to think about it. Because if they... you know... when I read like reviews of the album, and I can tell when someone straight has written that review, low key. And like, I'm like, oh, you don't know what camp means. Like, you are confused about what tacky and then camp means. Like, so I think you just really have to like lean into the camp, but also like, you know, Kaleidoscope isn't an anthem, but that is a gay girl song. And I think it's just about really going bold into like, this is about a woman and not really shying away from that. But I mean, you have to I need to honor, you know, Britney, and like, I take like the energy of Rihanna and like Madonna and just try to like put it all into one and honor those before you and just be like, okay, how do I make sure to honor pop music? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do you have any favorite gay girl anthems by other artists?
I mean, the Robin song, but I wish so bad I wrote Cool for the Summer. I love that song so much.
So good.
I love that song. But yeah.
A very good choice. I mean, talking about Red Wine Supernova specifically, the bridge is everything. Tell us the story behind that.
Well, that song I wrote that song shortly after Pink Pony Club, and it took like literally years to finish, and we could not figure it out. And then one day we were just like, what should the bridge be? Like, we had so many different ideas, and we just like settled on what would it be fun to do with a crowd, which is usually what every bridge is. We were just kind of thinking like, oh, what's like a country kind of chant? And the wand and the rabbit line is just so, I don't know, we were like crying laughing when we were writing it. But yeah, I just wanted something I could sing with the audience, you know?
Well, it's exactly that. Track 3, After Midnight, still very fun, but you've said that it was inspired by your dad always saying nothing good happens after midnight.
Yes.
And you've also talked in the song about your mum's sort of opinions and going against her wishes, which is really relatable. Yeah. Why did you decide to put that in the song?
I just once I moved out to LA when I was 18, I just realized that literally everything good happens after midnight. Like, it is a blast. And a lot of what I was taught, I think, was out of, you know, fear for like, you know, it's like kind of more dangerous, and which I totally get, but I was just so baffled that actually like 3 a.m. is so fun. And I think it's like a little saying my dad said, but he's not like really adamant about that. Okay. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, what's a bubbly pop song? We can just talk about partying. So well,
because like growing up, does your parents' opinions, do they still like play in your mind? Do they matter a lot to you, or do you feel like you make your own choices for yourself?
I definitely make my own choices. I feel like a lot of what they instilled in me was like values of like work ethic and treating other people. They've never smoked weed or really been like drunk or done drugs at all. So I do. So I don't, I don't really like listen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not like drug. It's like whatever. But I don't know. So I don't tell them that. But okay. This is public. But yeah.
Nothing that's been said is true.
Yeah.
Track 4, Coffee, changing the tone quite a lot. The lyrics to this song, they sort of play out like a scene to a movie. There's like such a strong narrative, and it has a bit of a cinematic feel. Was that intentional? Yeah, it's really just about New York, and I don't even think Marion Street I don't even know if that's in New York. I just made that up. But I was about to go to New York and to film like my Naked in Manhattan little shoot, and my ex lived there at the time, and we had broken up. And so I wrote about just like, okay, I can't go to their house. We just have to get coffee. And that didn't end up happening. So I think the song was just kind of like me trying to convince myself that we just don't need to go there. Like, we'll get coffee during the day. Like, we shouldn't do anything else. Like, we don't need to go to the park. We definitely should not go to a bar. Like, we should not get dinner, nothing.
And I just kind of didn't do any of that. So we went to a bar and then I went to their house. So yeah, I think that the song just kind of is the story of me making up what I was hoping it would be like, you know.
Well, I love like the conclusion of the song is that like you want to go for coffee because you think that's a sensible choice, but like if you're still in love with your ex, there's not really any good way to meet up with them.
No.
Like, is it possible to stay friends with an ex?
No. But who's friends with their ex? Like, no one. Like, no, for real friends with their ex. I mean, no. Let me know if you know who.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you friends with your ex?
I've only been in one relationship for like 10 years, so there's...
Well... Let me know.
I mean, hopefully not. Track 5, Casual. Just moving deeper into the emotions. This song is about someone who refuses to commit. We need to know, when is the, like, properly pinpoint, when is the exact moment when a relationship changes from being casual to serious?
I think it's like, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, when you say I love you. But I think like it's more than that. I think it's before that. I think it's like whenever you like can like hear them pooping or something.
Yes.
And you're just like, I still want to be with them.
You've stopped pretending to be like a better version of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I haven't said I love you, but this is not casual anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I heard you like throwing up or doing, you know, the other thing.
Completely. But did you know writing it that knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out, is it casual now? Did you realize that lyric was going to be so iconic and like the fans were going to latch onto it?
I just I was really nervous because it's pretty crass and it's just
It's real.
it's very real. It didn't happen, but it's a nice line.
Yes. Okay, track 6, Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl. If Red Wine Supernova was for the gay girls, it feels like this is for the gay clubs.
Yeah.
What makes someone a super graphic ultra modern girl?
I think just a girl who is herself, living her life, having a blast in the club. I just think girls like who really are so confident in themselves and like love the fact that they're like a freak and weird. Yeah, I think like the line is, I need a super graphic ultramodern girl like me. Like I need a bad bitch who is not afraid of anything. I don't know. It's also just, I got that like whole concept from an Architectural Digest, like YouTube video. So
we can be.
So it's like a little bit. I don't really know what it means. You know what I mean?
It's for the listener to decide.
Yeah, decide. Like the way I even thought of it was like this woman was describing the architecture of this house and she was just like, it's super modern. This part is ultra graphic with all of the colors and like la la la. And I was like, ding! And I just like wrote it down and I kept it in my notes for a long time. And then I was just like, how do we make this a pop banger?
Well, I think also having that like spoken word intro is like a key sign to a pop banger. It takes it fully to camp. How did that come about?
I just like, I'm obsessed with Alejandro by Gaga, and I was like, that is so fun that she has like spoken word, and like everyone screams that line, and so I loved to just have my spoken word. And also it's so fun how we intro it at the show. It's very unexpected, so it's so fun. I just love it.
And you've also said that this song was inspired by drag. Drag is obviously a huge part of your art. You open your shows with a drag queen every night. Why was it important to have drag queens be a part of your show?
Oh, I just think they're the funnest people to watch in the world. Like, there is nothing more exciting than watching a drag show for me. And it's impossible to, like, feel, like grumpy whenever there's a drag queen, like, in the room. And, yeah, I just think it's so necessary to bring that camp and that silliness and that confidence and the makeup, the outfits, everything. I think it's so necessary.
Well, also at this time, it's like drag in America is obviously currently under threat from laws. Like, there's something quite political almost about you having this be part of your show. How does that make you feel as a performer that drag is under threat?
I mean, it's devastating. Like, I performed in pretty much all the places that it's banned. And you can feel it with the queens, like the heaviness in the room. And I think it's, like, really important, especially in those places, to keep drag alive. And there are age restrictions in those parts, but I think we just have to keep doing it. Like, this is not, drag isn't going anywhere. I don't know what these lawmakers think. Like, it's always been around. It's not going anywhere. So I think it's most important to give those queens and kings a platform and just showing the world that, like, this is joy. This isn't whatever the fuck you think it is. Like, so, yeah.
Couldn't have put it better. Track 7, Hot to Go. You've said you wanted to make something silly with this song, and your music has actually evolved a lot since your debut EP, which, great music, but much more serious than the tone that you're sort of releasing now. When did you feel that you were free to be silly in your art?
Well, the idea sparked whenever I went to the gay club for the first time, because I was like, why am I so serious? Everyone here is having so much fun. And because the way I was brought up, I wasn't exposed to, I mean, honestly, hardly any gay culture. No one that I was, like, really close with was, like, out. So it was all very, like, reserved and, like, serious. So until I, like, went to LA and West Hollywood, I wasn't really, like, aware of how campy life could be and how exaggerated. And I think what really made me feel like I could make silly art was once I got into therapy with an inner child work and kind of working on, you know, what did, like, little me want. And that was, like, a little girl that wanted to play dress up all the time, who wanted to wear makeup and dance and, you know, just be obnoxious. And I think that once I, you know, really allowed myself to do that, I think that's when my art got better. So yeah, I just kind of honored my inner child, and that's when my career started taking off, because just by, like, honoring her.
Well, like, a lot of the critics we've talked a bit about reviews have, like, referred to your art in a positive, not derogatory way as being, like, silly or not concerned with taste. How do you feel about those types of critics?
I think, like, it is silly. I think, like, taste is, like, I don't really know what that means. But that's kind of what I mean when, like, taste and camp. Like, if sometimes poor taste can literally just be someone who doesn't know what camp means. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's like John Waters, you know, like, so a lot of people would be like, oh my God, this is, like, trash. And he's like, I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, like, this is a very controversial movie, Showgirls. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
Literally, like, hated in the 90s, like one of the worst films of the 90s. And, like, now, like, there are some, like, extremely fucked up parts that literally don't need to be in the movie. But it's, like, amazing what they pulled off. And, like, that takes a ton of taste and energy and creative talent to do that. And I kind of, like, think that it takes a lot of creative talent to make a song mean something, but also feel like bubbles, you know?
Well, how do you feel about your early music now, as the tone has shifted quite a lot?
I don't identify with it anymore, because that time I was just a different person. I really struggled with depression, and I don't feel depressed anymore. And I was very heartbroken over a boy, and I don't feel that anymore. And I'm just so much happier. And I do try to, last night I didn't play the song, but most nights I play one of the older songs to kind of honor that version of myself, because I know 16-year-old me would have died to play those songs for a crowd like the London crowd or whoever. So I do sing those and honor her.
That's sweet. Well, Hot to Go as well, your grandparents are in this video.
Yes.
Are they aware of what the song's about?
I think so, and I just think they ignore it. I think that's how they, I mean, that's what you do in the Midwest. It's like, it's very much, oh, you know, Kaylee's dating a girl, but it's really just like her friend, or like you just kind of ignore it. You don't really ask any questions. I kind of feel like my family is like that with my entire project. Like, I highly doubt my grandparents listen to Casual, you know what I mean, or Red Wine Supernova. Like, really, I think Hot to Go is pretty tame
In comparison, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were down though, and it's very sweet. They're very conservative, like highly Republican. So,
but Hot to Go.
But they're hot to go.
Track 8, My Kink Is Karma. This is about enjoying when an ex's life goes completely tits up. Mm-hmm. How did it feel to write? Was it cathartic?
Yeah, it was so fun. Well, at first I literally walked out of the session. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, I hated it. I was like, this is so tasteless. And then, you know, I think that about every song that I write, though, at first. And then I grow to love it. But it was so fun to make up little things and just kind of list them. And it's so cathartic actually performing it, because it is like a release of all of these things that I really despised about my ex, and it just feels so good to like get that out with the audience.
Yeah, because previously you've said that, like, you know it's toxic, but it's how you felt at the time, and there's something really relatable about that. Do you ever feel pressure as an artist to be like morally perfect in your music?
No, I don't think any artist should. Like, otherwise, like, be a politician. You know what I mean? And they're not even morally ethic. Like,
no.
What the hell? That's a horrible. Be a what job is morally ethic? I don't fucking know. A Not even, bitch. Not even a doctor.
Like MJ Doctor, they
No, yeah, exactly. Literally.
The line that really makes me scream is in the chorus when you're saying you're ruining your life, you're losing your mind, you're dyeing your hair. Is that based on a personal experience? And have you ever dyed your hair when you're going through it?
Yeah, bitch. My hair is not red. Well, you know, like, when you break up, a lot of times you'll just want an immediate change, like a piercing, or you cut your hair, or you dye your hair, or something.
It's relatable that I was blonde during the pandemic.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, you didn't go through a breakup.
No, but it's like I was going through something.
Yeah, when you're going through something, you dye your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care.
Track 9, Picture You. This, you've said, was inspired by online dating. What's your wildest online dating story?
Oh my God. Well, I've only dated one person, like, virtually. Oh my God. I mean, FaceTime sex is so cringe. Is that the wildest thing ever? I don't even know. Can I even say that?
Yeah, no, it's wild.
It's kind of like insane. And then you just like hang up and you're like, okay. Like, I guess I'll go to sleep now. But there's nothing really wild about it. I guess, like, it's fun to like be like, ooh, I look sexy right now. And like, where, I don't know, oh my God, I'm getting in trouble for saying this. But I worked at a coffee shop when I was like talking to this person. I was literally working the drive-thru at a coffee shop. It's like a kiosk. And I would just like go in and like take nudes in the bathroom. And then I would go back out and be like, hello, what can I get you? It's like, yeah.
That's just dating life. That's
yeah,
like...
whatever. I don't know.
Well, also, because the song specifically is about how you sort of you wonder if someone pictures you the same way that you're presenting yourself. Like, that is quite a weird experience in itself.
That song is like directly related to Casual. Like, they're about like the same situation, and it was like, oh, you could see that like Picture You was about how I wanted them to see me so badly, and like I was like obsessive over them, and then it turned out to be just casual for them, and that's why it was so shocking to me, because I had pictured them in so many different ways, you know. So yeah, I think Picture You is like a somber song as long as a like kind of sexy song.
And the song's produced by Dan Nigro, who's obviously worked across the entire album. You guys have been on a bit of a journey together. Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, we've been working for 5 years together, and we started with California, Love Me Anyway, which is on the album, and Pink Pony Club. But it's just been a lovely journey of growing and writing better songs. And I have a blast writing with him. It's so silly and campy, and we both push each other, and I work best when I'm working with someone who can tell me that's not a good idea, or like just makes me better. So it's just been a great journey, and we've already started writing for the next album, so it's like doesn't feel like work. So I have a blast.
That's how it should be. Well, Dan's obviously as well very famous for working with Olivia, and we know that you sing backing vocals on Olivia Rodrigo's Lacy.
Yeah.
And you did a bit on Bad Idea, right, as well?
I remember, I actually don't know if they ended up using it now that I really thought I was like, I think I'm on this song. But because I did record for it, but I thought I heard myself in the chorus, but maybe I'm just insane. Because I don't think they actually used it. But I am in
Lacy,
and there's like a secret track called Obsessed. That's like on the vinyls, which I'm on that one. And I'm also on the Hunger Games song that just came out. I sing on the bridge.
I mean, how does that happen? Like, how do you end up on a song with Olivia? Like, is that just
because we all work out of the same studio, and Dan is like, are you free right now? Can you come help? And so I just like go over there and sing harmonies, because it's like really nice on a song to have kind of different tones. And she's very like, I love that she's open to having like another vocalist, and it's just, she's so sweet to me.
Like, working with Dan, had you heard like Sour and Driver's License before they came out? Did you know, could you tell she was about to be this like massive deal? I don't think anyone expected, like, she had like the perfect storm of just like, oh my God, there was so much energy around Driver's License. But yeah, I heard Driver's License before it came out, and I was like, Dan, this is like, I think this is going to be on the radio. Like, that's really what I thought. And he was like, yeah. And here we are. But yeah, I got to hear, I'm very lucky I get to hear a lot of the stuff before it comes out. Well, and she's such a fan of you as well. It's great to see that interplay between you two.
She's so sweet. She's literally so sweet. She sent me her Spotify Wrapped, and I was like, her top artist. It was so kind. I was like, girl.
Track 10, Kaleidoscope. Such a stunning ballad. You wrote this completely by yourself. How did it come about?
Oh my God, it's the only song I wrote last year, like by myself. I wrote one song and it was that. And I was just like, I don't know, I just was so in love with, I was like really in love with my best friend, and I like told her, and she was like, okay, let me like think about this, like give me a week to just like process this and let's talk about it. Because I was like, I'm in love with you. I want to be with you. And before, I wrote this on the day that we were about to talk. Like, it was, like, I just didn't know what to do with my emotions, so I wrote Kaleidoscope. And it was just like, the song was just me trying to prepare for what I think I knew she was going to say, which was, I don't think we should do this. I think we should stay friends. So it's just really about staying friends, even though love changes, and that can be falling in love, that can be just friendship, that can be even like taking space is love. So Yeah, I think it was just a preparation of the inevitable.
Well, that's why it cuts so deep and like the vocal is stunning. Do you have like any favorite ballads yourself that you go back to?
Oh my God, Stay by Rihanna is so good. That's what like got me writing music was Rihanna, Stay by Rihanna.
Now, also this album was a long time in the making. We know that Love Me Anyway didn't make the cut. Are there any songs that didn't get released at all that you'd still like to release?
Yeah, there were some songs that just didn't fit the concept of the album. It was just like, this doesn't fit in this world, so we're gonna release them on the next one. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm writing all the time that it just doesn't fit all the time, you know.
That makes sense. Track 11, Pink Pony Club. This, obviously the first single from the album, you released this all the way back in 2020, and it feels like you really found your sound on this song. Did it feel that way at the time? Yeah,
because we were like, okay, this feels good, but we're getting so much like honestly negative feedback. But I was like, this feels so fun, and I want to do stuff this route. Like, I want to have fun on stage and dance and to feel happy, and I knew I wanted that, but people like at the label they just didn't want to put it out. They didn't get it, so that like was really confusing at the time.
But to see everyone get it now on tour, how does that feel?
I mean, it's like, damn, bitch, like, were you wrong? Like, I feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot because we knew. We were like, this is good. And also, like, we released it in, like, the worst time in the world. Like, it came out, I'm pretty sure, like, April 2020. It was, like, the worst time ever to release a gay club song. And it still had such an impact. And I was just like, okay, this means something. And the fact that it's still such a big part of the record.
Well, the song is about finding yourself as well as a queer person. What advice would you give to queer fans who are still finding themselves?
I would say be gentle, that it's like blooming into something, but it's, you know, it's not linear of just like, oh, I know myself more and more and more. I think it took me a second to really wrap my head around queerness, and I think that is the case for every queer person, that it's just like, it's stages of like, oh, this is who I am. Oh, actually it's not. Or actually, maybe I'm not just, you know, bi. Maybe I'm actually like more than bi. You know, maybe I'm pan. Maybe I'm, you know, there's so many different journeys, you know.
Yeah, and there's no timeline that you have to follow.
No. And I think what I really struggled with was, and still is, being gay enough. I think that's something that I feel pressure doing. And I don't know, sometimes I just feel like, do I belong in the queer community sometimes? Just like within, I don't know, myself, but I know that's not the case. It's not real.
Yeah, anyone who says otherwise.
I mean, granted, yeah, like, I obviously belong.
Obviously with Pink Pony Club as well, it really taps into the tour themes, like how you create this safe space for fans. Like, I love how it was inspired by you going to the Abbey, and now your tour is like bringing that experience around the world. How does that feel?
I mean, it's a dream come true. Like, the only thing I want to offer as a human is to like make a space where there is joy where there wasn't before. Like, that is like magic, to just be able to walk into a room that was empty and there was no feelings, and now there's feelings, and like of happiness, you know? So I don't think there's like anything else that I could ever want more than that. Like, that's the dream come true. There's like literally nothing else better than that.
Track 12, Naked in Manhattan. I think this is actually my favorite song on the project. It reminds me of Teenage Dream, but like a queer teenage dream.
Thank you.
You've actually said that Katy Perry is a big influence for you. Was there a particular song that turned you into a fan?
Oh, Teenage Dream? Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I really became like a diehard fan whenever I saw the movie in theaters, like the Katy Perry Teenage Dream.
Part of Me.
Part of Me. Yeah. And I saw her get divorced over text with, what's his name?
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. I always say Russell Crowe. That's not. Russell Brand. And I was like, I'm with this bitch till I die. Like, that is fucked up. Because then she had to like, go on stage and be a pop star. And I am obsessed. I mean, I think she is the epitome of like camp. I saw her Vegas residency. It was incredible. And just so, oh my God, I'm obsessed with her. I love her.
It is that scene.
Oh my God,
incredible.
It's heartbreaking.
Now, in this song you sing, I sing that Lana song, It Makes You Cry. What song are you referring to?
I sang two to her. It was Ride, and then I sing Mariner's Apartment Complex.
Both very emotional. Are there Lana songs that make you specifically cry as well?
Yeah, Ride, yes. Like, it's so dramatic. I love it so much. The music video, oh my God, cry.
You also sing about having a crush on Regina George in this song. Who were your formative crushes?
Shigo from Kim Possible. Literally any character in Zelda. Obviously cartoon characters. Something's really fucked up about me. But I like, looking back, realized that I had massive crushes on like my girl best friends because I was so like obsessive and like possessive, and I was just like the most perfect person in the world and there's no one more beautiful, and that I was definitely like crushing on my besties. Yeah.
Very relatable for queer people.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you look back and you're like, that was romantic.
Track 13, California, Changing the Vibe Again. Now, you said this was one of the first songs you wrote, but I assumed it was like partly inspired by you being dropped and feeling your dreams could be over. What actually inspired the song?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even dropped at the time. I just felt so sad in LA. And I think that's what it was. I like really thought I would come to LA and all my dreams would come true and I would feel so like myself, and that at times it was that, but for many years it was just so depressive and so heartbreaking, and I felt so defeated. And I think that's what California was just inspired by, just like wanting my dad to come pick me up and just like get me out of California, because I feel like I let myself down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard moving to a new city and feeling homesick.
It is. And also just making friends out of, you don't know anyone, so you just have to create a friend group out of thin air. And that's very, very difficult. And really, it's just really lonely to move to a new city when you're, you know, in such a difficult industry and so young. So, yeah.
Well, and as we mentioned, you were obviously dropped by Atlantic originally. What was that experience like, and how did you pick yourself back up afterwards?
I think it was the best thing that could have happened in my career, because I truly just, it lit a fire under my ass that I was just like, I have to try to make this work. And if I gave myself like a year to get my shit together, and if I didn't feel like it was like, this is actually what I meant to do at the end of that year, then I would just like move back home and go to college or something and just be like, okay, I tried music, you know what I mean? But what was so amazing was that I did like what I always wanted to do as an independent artist, which is like release music whenever I wanted to, dress however I wanted to. Like, making my Kink Is Karma was like one of my favorite parts of my entire career, because that was purely like that was no label was involved at all, like, and no one was telling me what to do.
And you were working with Justin Tranter?
Oh yeah, yes. Well, that was the other thing. Like, I literally got the Olivia, like, I opened for her one time as an independent artist. I got the Fletcher tour, like, as an independent artist. Like, I was doing exactly what I was dreaming to do by myself, like, without a label. And, like, with just my friends feeling the project. So it just felt so, what is the word, like?
Affirming?
It was affirming, but it was just so, like, empowering. And I felt like, damn, I was meant to do this, because it's working just without even, you know, a label. So it was so great. It got to a point, though, where I could not do it anymore. Like, I was like, this project is too big. Like, I can't do it alone with my friends anymore. So I re-signed in January with Island Records.
Yeah. And Dan's imprint as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, your whole life story almost feels like a movie, the way that you were signed when you were so young. There's like the drama of being dropped, and then you like really pick yourself up like a sort of coming of age movie, and now you're sort of killing it on your own. Would you ever consider turning this album into like a film or a musical?
Oh my God, it would be so fun if it were a musical. I don't think, like, I mean, I don't know. The film would probably be like, I don't know what it would be like, but I think a musical, it makes sense, and like the songs would just be so fun to perform.
Completely. Mm-hmm. Track 14, Guilty Pleasure. I love this way to end an album, but why did you decide for this to be the final track?
It's my favorite song. It's my favorite song that I wrote, because it was just, I think it's so weird, and it's very me, I feel like, because I think if I wasn't so set on like, this is the world, this is how it has to be, I think I would make much weirder, more experimental music. And not that that song is that experimental, but it's just, I just like to make things that are like, you can wrap your head around, you know. And Guilty Pleasure is pretty jarring because of like, there's like a random key change, and then that goes into pop, and then it's just kind of crazy. And it's like there's an entire bridge of just yodeling. So it's very I think I was just like, you know what, this is the stamp on the album, like this is weird and I love this, and it is a guilty pleasure. Like that's what my queerness felt like. It was like a guilty pleasure, and because I was too scared to just actually enjoy it fully, it was just like a secret kind of.
Well, I mean, that's why your music is so good, though, because you'll start a song, it'll be like a ballad, and then it'll suddenly... It's like Femininomenon.
Yeah, and Pink Pony, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're like 5 different songs in one, and you're just constantly entertained and surprised. Like, it's a skill.
Thank you.
So finally, let's talk future plans. We know you've already mentioned that you've started on your second album with Dan. Is there any particular vibe you're aiming for with this project?
I don't know yet. I think we're so like new into it. I think the songs just will write them, like the songs will tell us what the vibe is. I mean, I never thought, you know, that Red Wine Supernova would be the way it was. Like it was a very slow kind of darkish vibe at first. So you never know what the songs are gonna turn out as, and I'm just excited to like see what comes out. It's difficult to write an album because you have to write mostly bad songs to make good ones. And that is heartbreaking because you're just like, oh my fucking God, this is horrible. But so I have to prepare to be bad for like 18 months.
Yeah,
so
but you'll get there.
We'll get there. It takes a sec. Yeah.
Well, like just to close, I want to say just thank you for releasing this album. It came out during a week where like was not good personal life wise, and just to have these like fun, silly sentiments, and then also these really deep things that cut you in the middle, it just gave me like I could be a silly goose for like a week listening to this, and I loved it. And I think that's been the experience for so many fans like all year long. And I can't wait just to live with it more. So thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, and for naming it literally the album of the year is just like so, I don't know, I was just like, holy fuck, that is so honoring. And yeah, I love it. And I'm very, very grateful for Pop Buzz and how much support I've been given. It's so, especially with like a queer community, it's just so, it's exactly who I would want to be at my shows. So I'm very excited for y'all to come.
Little chaplains for life.
Little chaplains!
Have the fans called themselves anything yet?
I don't know. Okay. I can't figure it out.
I'm a chaplain.
Okay, you be a chaplain. You be a chaplain.
Work through that religious trauma. Thank you so much, Chappell. This was amazing.
Thank you so much. Hi, thank you for watching. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to Pop Buzz.